Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Big Fur. And this is a documentary about Ken Walker, who is a taxidermist, world-renowned taxidermist. And this film is about his taxidermy, his love for Sasquatch, and kind of a little love letter to the idea of, is Sasquatch real? And also, it's about Ken Walker and delves into his own personal life. And the documentary started off very well, and it used some animation to portray some things, and I like that. I like to see a documentary do some little ambitious things a little different, because then the rest of this documentary feels very much like this probably was like a documentary you could just watch on TV, because there wasn't anything in particular that was ambitious or creative about after that first part of the film as technically as a documentary. So that right off the bat, it's just like, this isn't the most impressively made documentary. It's point and shoot, and it captures a story, and like I mentioned, it hits on all these different points, and I feel like the best working parts were really delving into the idea and the world of taxidermy. It's informative, it gives you a perspective on this, and I learned a lot, and I appreciated that. It was an informative documentary in that way. I think it really works when it's talking about this little love letter to the idea of, does Sasquatch exist? And it makes a little nice place for Sasquatch and Bigfoot believers out there, and I think that was the most interesting and drawing part of this documentary, and his whole process of creating this taxidermy of Bigfoot and putting it into a contest and realizing like it had to be put into like the art form section of the show, because like it's not scientifically proven that this is an actual animal, so you can't restore it. Where this documentary really lost me is like, it's trying to set up this personal aspects of Ken Walker's life, and like they talk about his singing and they show his band, and they're fun. I enjoyed the music. I think that was a nice little touch. I think that was enough to like add a little personality about Ken to give us some perspective, but like it starts diving into like this really a lot of drama going on in his life, and like I don't want to give things away, but it delves into some like Lifetime movie kind of twists and turns in his life and his marriage and his relationships, specifically with this one other taxidermist, and it's just like, didn't sign up for a crazy soap opera here. And I felt like it was a little bit distracting, and that made up a big chunk of the finale of the film. And it kind of took away from what I felt like was the main point of the documentary, which is the taxidermy and this idea of like, is Sasquatch real? And in the end, I'm just like, that left me with a bad taste in my mouth, because I feel like we kind of lost focus here. But in general, this is a decent documentary. It's very informative. If you want to learn more about taxidermy, it's an interesting perspective, and it gives an interesting perspective on the believers in Bigfoot and Sasquatch. So I think Big Fur has enough in it that makes it worth a watch. It's a short film. It's like an hour and 20 minutes, but it's not perfect. It's not really impressively made in terms of technical standpoint, and also loses its way a bit in terms of its focus. But those are my thoughts on Big Fur. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.